morning, all. Well, yes, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Evanston. My name is Mary Dudek. My pronouns are she and hers, and I am the worship associate today. We're joined this morning by Reverend Jules Taylor, who is the Senior Director of Contextual Ministry and an affiliate professor at Meadville Lombard Theological School, and serves as a UU chaplain in the New York Air National Guard. Let's give them a warm welcome. Thank you. Whether this is your spiritual home or you are newly discovering our community, we're grateful to share this time together. We strive to be an inclusive and welcoming community, seeking truth and love and nurturing the human spirit for a world made whole. We are guided by our principles and values, which remind us in every moment and through every challenge that each of us is worthy of love, and that we are all connected through the vast and beautiful web of existence. We come together to remember our kinship with one another and to hold another in heart and mind with tenderness and careful attention, and to dedicate ourselves more fully to living our shared values. Welcome to those of you who are joining us online. We hope you have your chalices ready. People of all ages are a welcome and important part of our faith community. We are blessed to have the children in the sanctuary for the first half of every service, and the entire service is for all ages about once a month. Today, the children will be joining us for the entire service. The nest in the front is our designated area for families with young children, where we have quiet fidget toys and activities and a kid-friendly order of service. We encourage our parents and caregivers in the nest to help support our youngest members of the community to participate in the service in an engaged way. Nursery care is available every Sunday in room 11 in the lower level, which you can access via the stairs at the back of the sanctuary. And the service is streamed to the lobby if you need to step out for any reason. As part of being a welcoming and inclusive community, we have some information posted on the screen that will help orient you to UUCE and our service. And now our announcements, and we have a very special one. Our welcoming congregation status has been renewed. This is our certificate. Reverend Michael Crumpler, the director of the UUA LGBTQ and Multicultural Programs Director, sent us our renewal certificate and his congratulations on completing, quote, the 5 practices of welcome renewal for 2026 and your ongoing commitment to LGBTQ+ welcome and inclusion in and beyond Evanston, Illinois. We have 2 collections going on right now. The first collection is with our family ministry team, who is collecting new adult underwear for Connections for the Homeless. The collection bin is located by the Giving House, and donations are being taken until August 5th. The other collection is with our Immigrant Solidarity team, who's collecting new backpacks and school supplies for the Haitian Community Organization's Back to School celebration. The collection bin is located in the lobby under the coat racks by the Lost and Found bin, and donations are being taken until August 14th. Are you looking for a way to get more engaged in this year's election cycle? Join our UU The Vote working group in writing and mailing voter engagement postcards to Michigan and North Carolina. Stop by the UU the Vote program table with Carolyn Laughlin after the service today to pick up your postcards or find out more. This evening from 6 to 9 p.m., we are hosting a benefit concert for Building Peaceful Bridges here in the sanctuary. There's still tickets available. After today's service, we'll be asking for your help to move the chairs to be along the east and west walls. And now, let us settle in together, gather our attention, and share this time of reflection, celebration, and inspiration. As we begin our worship service, let's quiet our electronics and our bodies as we join in beloved community. Welcome to worship. And now our land and labor acknowledgement. The Unitarian Universalist congregation of Evanston was built on the traditional homelands of the Council of Three Fires, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations. The land where we sit was transferred from the local Potawatomi community to the U.S. government in 1829, sold to white settlers, and then, after the defeat of a pan-Indian movement to keep white settlers out of the Great Lakes region, the Potawatomi community had no choice but to sell before being forcibly removed west of the Mississippi River. We also remember the ancestors of contemporary African Americans, the individuals, families, and networks of Black people who built up our country's culture and economy, which was a role forced on them originally by enslavement. We are indebted to their labor and unwilling sacrifice and acknowledge the tremors of that violence throughout the generations, still felt and witnessed today. We offer these acknowledgements as one small effort toward building long-term solidarity with contemporary communities. We commit ourselves to incorporate these admissions into our lives and turn our thoughts into actions. Please join in our words of shared commitment. We name these realities with honor for all the ancestors, respect for our descendants, and gratitude for the land we use as sacred space. Members of our Catalyst for Democracy team brought the flowers in recognition of all the people in our nation, historically and currently, who promote our democratic values and institutions. This is now our turn to save our democracy. We, the people, can do this. As they light our chalice, symbol of our living tradition, please join in sharing the words on the screen by Reverend Mark Belletini. I am part of history. I am connected to a family and forebears. I am part of humanity. I am heir to all that humans have brought to the world. I am part of nature. I am what the stars are.
Good morning. Would anybody who's sitting in the nest like to come up and join me as we read our covenant? Are you going to help me this morning? What do you think? Do you want to help me? Yeah, okay. Are you going to help too? All right. Can you hold the microphone? Yep. And, all right. Can you stand with us? All right. Can you, okay.
I can kneel.
Yeah, let's all kneel. All right. Say your first name.
My name is August, and we are going to the church, Mommy's house, and Tor.
Thank you. Can you say your first name?
My name is Frankie, and today I'm going to the pike.
All right. Can you say your first name?
My name is Robert, and I'm going to the park, probably with Frankie and August.
And can you say, ask everybody to rise in body or spirit?
Say,
You can do it, Richard.
okay.
Please rise in body or spirit.
Please rise in body and spirit for the reading of our covenant. Okay.
Ready?
Hey.
Love is the spirit.
Of this church, congregation, and service is its law. This is our great covenant. To dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I invite everyone joining us online to greet each other in the chat, and I invite everyone here to find someone new and to greet each other. Please remain risen. And before we sing our opening hymn, I want to encourage anyone who is still feeling new to stop by the welcome table with the red tablecloth after the service. There's also a very informal group that will circle up to just literally move chairs around and get to know each other back by the doors between the lobby and the sanctuary as we continue to create new relationships and build kinship among us. Please join in our opening hymn, number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath.
Good morning, everyone. Today's Time for All Ages is a Lakota story called The Star People. And it's written by S.D. Nelson. You haven't heard it? Well, then you'll love it. There's great pictures with this story, too. Watch. Oops. There. You'll see. Young Wolf and I had wandered far across the prairie. Being his older sister, I wanted to show him the wonders of our world. Do you see how Father Sun travels through the high sky during the day and see beneath our feet? Mother Earth is alive with growing things. My little brother looked for a long moment and said, "Sister girl, I cannot see our village anymore." "Let's stay for just a while," I said, "and then we'll go back." We sat in the dry, sweet-smelling grass, watching the clouds drift overhead. Young Wolf pointed and said, "Sister girl, the cloud looks like a buffalo's head." We both laughed with amazement. "There's an eagle," I cried, "and horses." "The cloud spirits are playing above us," I told my brother. "Sometimes they take the shapes of animals or people. The clouds are alive, and we call them the cloud people. As the cloud people change their shapes, the face of a woman emerged." "Look," my brother gasped, "it's grandmother." Elk-Tooth Woman had died that spring, and we missed her very much. As I looked, I realized the clouds had turned dark in the distance. Lightning struck the dry earth. The day is coming to an end. Mother and Father will be expecting us. Overhead, birds cried. Rabbits, deer, and other animals bounded past, their eyes wide with fear. Something was terribly wrong. What do you think it was? "I smell smoke," said Young Wolf. It was a prairie fire. We joined the fleeing creatures and ran for our lives. "Mother, Father," we cried, but our voices could not be heard above the roaring fire, and we had wandered so far from our village. The flames were catching up to us. The smoke made it impossible to see. I stumbled down a hill, and Young Wolf fell behind me. Rolling down the hill, I despaired. We would never see our home again, or our mother and father. In the next moment, we were in water. We had fallen into a stream. "Come on," I cried. We clutched each other and hunched down. Only our heads poked up above the water. Angry flames flew just over our heads. Sparks and ash fell on us, but we were not harmed. Then the fire was past, flashing to nothing in the distance. "Look, brother," I said to Young Wolf, who was softly crying. "We are safe. Be glad. The fire did not catch us." A strange blackened land stretched before us. I knew that I had made a mistake by wandering so far from home. Now I had no idea how to find our village, and the dark of night was near. I tried not to cry, but tears came to my eyes as I comforted my brother. "Sister girl, the stars are dancing." I looked up. High above us, the stars were becoming shapes, as the clouds had done that afternoon. First there was a coyote, then a bear, hawk, and many other creatures, both animal and human. Chanting, the star people circled us. They are the spirits of the old ones who once walked this earth, I told my brother. Young Wolf was the first to see Elk-Tooth Woman dancing among them. "It's my grandma," he cried. "You are safe now, young wolf," she whispered, holding out her arms. "I am here, my sister girl." I was so delighted to see our grandmother. Young wolf was happy but confused. He said, "Grandma, I thought I would never see you again." Smiling, she drew us close to her, tenderly rocking back and forth. Beneath a heaven full of stars, we fell into a deep sleep. Young wolf and I dreamed of green prairies and our village. In our dream, we could see our mother and father. Both were searching frantically for us. They feared the fire had taken our lives. We called to them, "We are here, we're safe," but they could not hear us. In our dream, raindrops pattered upon the burned ground. Wildflowers grew and crickets chirped. Moths fluttered about in the cool moonlight. Creatures crawled from the safety of their burrows. Badger, lizard, turtle, rabbit. In the morning when we awoke, I felt an emptiness in my heart. Young wolf felt the emptiness of his stomach. "I'm hungry," he said. Elk-toothed woman just laughed. She took us to a place where berry bushes had escaped the fire. We ate our full fill. Then grandmother said she would take us home. We traveled a long time across the barren land. In places there were flowers and green grass, untouched by the fire. That was a sign of hope. Finally, we came to a hilltop. Looking down, young wolf cried, "There's our village." I turned to grandmother. "Our mother and father will be so happy to see you again." But she shook her head. "I can go no farther. I must return to my home in the sky." Young wolf clutched Elk-toothed woman and would not let her go. Tears streamed down his round cheeks. I pleaded with her to stay. Drawing away from us, grandmother smiled and said, "Don't worry, my sister girl, my young wolf. I will always be with you. The star people are always with you. Look up and you will see me among the stars." So young wolf and I returned home safely. Our parents wept with joy to see their children, and then they were very angry with us for wandering so far from home. But ever after, when my little brother and I walked beneath the star-filled heavens, we felt comfort, for we knew our grandmother and all of our star people were watching over us. The end.
I invite us to settle into a time of quiet reflection as we share our joys and sorrows. If you have a joy or sorrow spoken aloud, you may write it in this book that lives on the little table right inside the lobby sanctuary doors, or you may find the Joys and Sorrows button on the homepage of our website, or you may email me while Reverend Eileen is on sabbatical. We offer these offerings with tenderness and respect. Let us inhale deeply. Exhale slowly as we quiet our bodies, quiet our conversations. Inhaling once more and exhaling. These are the joys and sorrows that have been shared before our service today. A joy, our Meadville Summer Sojourners 2026 cohort would like to express our gratitude for you all welcoming us into our space. We had a group of young adults from all over the country have not a con, but a overnight, and have been with us for 2 nights, and they're joining us this morning for worship. So welcome, welcome, welcome. They share, we all had transformative and nurturing experiences here this weekend. It was an absolute joy to grow in this sacred space. And the first thing one of you said to me when I walked in this morning was, the light in the sanctuary this morning, in the wee hours of the morning, was just beautiful. And so that was the start to my day today, and I'm grateful. And then, I'm not sure who this is from. I've been a mama for a year as of Friday. I was told I'd have her for 6 months, but it looks like it'll be at least another year. I've never been so happy. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Yeah. That's our little crawler who's practicing the up and down the ramp. I don't know if you can see her. Nellie Eastman asks for prayers for support as she searches for a new job after being unexpectedly terminated 2 weeks ago. Mary Dudek shares this concern. On July 30th, we celebrated 60 years of Medicare and Medicaid being in action. As a former medical provider, I know firsthand how life-saving these programs have been. The current administration is reducing benefits and disenrolling needy patients. This country needs to get back to doing the right thing for the common good. Blessings. Yeah. A joy from our Catalyst team who lit the Chalice today. We are proud to have been part of the huge UU presence from across Chicagoland congregations at the National March into Marquette Park on Saturday. The rain didn't stop the joy, the singing, the wonderful speakers, or the shared commitment to honor and carry on historic civil rights work for dignity, justice, and shared humanity. Grateful for everybody who was able to go. Thank you. And someone shared these birthday wishes. We are wishing Deborah Dospit and Marty Morrison. Are either of you here today? Yes. Happy birthday. Our lives are enriched by the two of you. Sharing these concerns of the heart is part of our practice of beloved community. It's how we expand our celebrations and also lessen the burden of our grief. You are invited to light a candle and drop a stone into the well of tears at one of our 3 chancel tables, one on either side of the sanctuary or here at the front. If you would like a candle brought to you, please raise your hand. Anything that's on your heart or mind today, please come forward. I missed one from the book. We have one more concern from Sean Talmadge. My mom, Kathy Talmadge, had to have surgery again on her femur and will have more healing time ahead. Joys for the outpouring of love from our UUCE family and friends, and Kathy welcomes calls and cards. I invite us to take another deep breath in as we settle into our shared words. For these joys, we give our thanks, and for these sorrows, we give our love. Please join me in an attitude of prayer and meditation as I share with you an adapted version of Reverend Elizabeth Berkey Saunter's prayer, "A world of beauty and love is coming." Spirit of life, of love that holds us, we gather in reverence and thanks. We are grateful for the gift of another breath, for the gift of each moment of connection, beauty, and truth. Spirit of life and love, cry with us in our pain for our world. Remind us that we are loved just as we are. Remind us that we are connected with all that is. Remind us that we do not journey alone. Give us what we need for today. Call us back to our promises, commitments, and values. Help us love ourselves and each other. Help us to show that love in our actions. Spirit of life and love, make us instruments of justice, equity, and compassion. Free us from that which is evil. For we declare that life and love are stronger than tyranny and fear, that a world of beauty and love is coming, and we must shape it together. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be. Please join in singing our sung response. Filled with loving kindness, we will sing the "we" verse 3 times through.
As we say in our covenant each Sunday, service is our law. UUCE is called by our mission, values, and principles to contribute to our community, to form accountable partnerships, and to express gratitude through giving. Today's offering will be shared with Mother and Child Alliance. We have a short video to learn about this organization. I will explain a little bit. The Alliance's mission is to strengthen the safety net for pregnant persons before and after delivery, to prevent HIV transmission and other serious infections in newborns, and to address the disparate prenatal and postpartum systems of care in Illinois and across the United States. You may text GIVE, mail in a check, put cash in the collection bowls, or give from our website. If you write a check, please indicate in the memo line if your check is for the shared offering or some other giving. The ushers will now come forward to pass the collection bowls down the rows. Please give as generously as you are able, and may what you give bring you joy. Thank you all for your generosity and for Gregory's gift of his beautiful music. Our reading this morning is from the Reverend Forest Church. Each of us, of course, must assume the responsibility for awakening. Others may be responsible for our being born, but what we make of our lives, how deeply and intensely we live, is our responsibility and ours alone. Having accepted life as a gift for ourselves, we are then charged to revere the presence of this same gift in others.
Well, good morning. So here we got some folks from New York here. Some New York. Well, a couple, one. Where? Okay, from all over, yeah, but well, I 25 years in New York, I still serve in New York, so of course I gotta ask about New York first. All right, we got New York. Where else are y'all from? DC? What, another New Yorker back there? All right. Okay, now we're gonna do roll call. All right. So what else? All right, well, so DC, New York. Did I see somebody from countryside? So local, we got some local folks too. Yeah, good. Denver? Oh, nice. All right. Excellent. Well, I'm glad that you guys are here, and I'm glad you stuck around. This is great. Great to see the kids here. I saw this big Spider-Man weekend. If you guys follow any kind of pop culture, I'm gonna be talking Star Wars, not Spider-Man, so I'm a little off for the weekend, but I saw Sonic the Hedgehog here, so it's great to have them. Glad that you all are here, and these guys are here too. My kids and I, we're big science fiction and superhero fans, and in fact, we watched, it's been over a couple years now, but we watched the whole Mandalorian series. For those of you that have continued on, all right, I see some people out here. And then we're really excited because a Mandalorian movie came out this summer, and it felt good to reconnect there. Now, when we watched the original series, at one point, as we'd seen a couple of movies over the years, and actually when my kids were little, this age, I don't know if you know it or not, but there are little golden books now for each of the Star Wars movies. And we read all of them to the kids, and so I gotta say, as somebody who grew up in the 70s, I was so excited for my kids to be old enough to finally watch the first movies. Little did I know you gotta wait for them to actually be ready, and if you make them watch it too early, it's a little rough. So you learn your first kid, you learn that, right? So I was really excited that when they were eventually, so the last couple of years, they became old enough, and we started watching, you know, all of the movies in the chronological, the proper order, and we still haven't gotten through it because it's going to take a while. There's quite a number of them, but exploring this galaxy far, far away, with my kids, it takes me back to remembering how I saw Star Wars the first time. It's now known in the canon as A New Hope, but when I saw it in 1977, it was just Star Wars. I was about 7 years old when that movie came out. And my family, we piled into a car. It was a 1971 two-door Monte Carlo, and we went to the drive-in, because that's what we could afford. $5 for the whole family to go see a movie. And where we came from, that's what we could do. And it was summer, and because it's a drive-in, I know those aren't around so much anymore, although there's a few popping up, certainly here in the Chicago area, which is great. But the movie doesn't start. It can't start until it's dark. So it's going to be late. Me and my brother and sister, we got on our pajamas, and my mom made a giant Tupperware bowl. Remember those big green Tupperware, big giant Tupperware bowls full of popcorn. And for me, seeing Star Wars for the first time, anything like that but Star Wars through the windshield with the night sky as a backdrop, it made an impression on me to this day. So as Reverend Susan mentioned, in addition to being staff and faculty at Meadville Lombard, I also am a chaplain, Air Force with the Air National Guard component. And at my base, both at my home base, which is in Schenectady, New York, and last year I was deployed to the Middle East for a deployment. And while I was there at both these places, I actually lead spirituality groups where we talk about the spiritual themes of Star Wars. And there's a lot of Jedi and UU excitement within the ranks of folks. That was a big group. We actually wound up, while I was deployed, it started as a once a week and actually got requests and wound up doing it multiple times a week in different areas because so many people were excited to talk about their experience and how Star Wars helps them guide their own spiritual, moral paths. So I think a lot about Star Wars. In this time and what I've been making the connection between Luke Skywalker, right, from Star Wars, and Joseph from Genesis in the Old Testament. Now, there are a lot of Josephs in the Bible, so I want to refresh your memory. For some of you, it will be an introduction. For some, it'll be a refreshing. This particular Joseph story starts in Genesis 37. It then skips chapter 38 and then goes from chapter 39 to 46. Now, for those of us who have familiarity with hearing Bible stories, when you're a kid in particular, when we learn them as kids, it sounds like all of these stories are full narratives, right? But when you actually read the Bible, most of the stories are often 2 or 3 verses that have been expanded upon, which gets kind of confusing. Right? In the Jewish tradition, that would be called midrash, right? Where we expand and learn more about this. The story of Joseph, however, is actually a full narrative. It's one of the few. And I didn't have a long separate reading because actually I'm gonna tell you rather than read you the story of Joseph. All right? So Joseph's story begins, he's one of the youngest sons of Jacob who has other fame. This Jacob is the son of Isaac. This Jacob is the Jacob of Jacob and Esau, who tricked his brother. Jacob tricked his brother Esau out of his birthright. This is also the Jacob who wrestles with the angel. So Jacob has a big presence and is a significant character in the beginning story of the Israelites. Joseph is one of the youngest sons. He's the favored son. Now, there are 12 sons altogether, and there are also daughters, but they're never named. Now, Jacob gives Joseph a beautiful multicolored coat. The Broadway musical Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat comes from this story. So this is that Joseph that I'm talking about. Joseph's treated with favor, and his brothers, though, are not into it. He also has these dreams, this gift of dreaming. And he tells his brothers in Genesis 37, the first dream he tells his brothers, he says, "We were out binding sheaves of grain in the field when suddenly My sheaf rose and stood upright while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it. Now, if you're a youngest child, you probably already know this isn't going to turn out well for Joseph. He has another dream and tells his family, now this time, in my dream, the sun and the moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me. Really, mom, dad, and all the brothers are now going to bow down to you. These are older brothers who had been working longer at harder jobs. They didn't take too kindly to Joseph. And honestly, Joseph doesn't do himself any favors either. You can come up. Most of us run from our call. If she's trying to come up on the chancel up here, that's good. That's all right. That's all right. Joseph's going to do the same thing. Just watch. Luke does it. It's one of the themes. This is what we're talking about today. So Joseph knows that he's got his father's favor, and he takes advantage of it. He takes advantage of it. As long as you're safe, as long as she's safe, do what you got to do over here. Right? He puts it in his brother's face that his father, he's the favorite. He tattles on them when they're doing actually most of the things that they're actually supposed to be doing. And then he interprets these dreams that somehow he's better than the rest of his family. He's kind of a jerk, actually. Right? He's got faults. Now, one day when Joseph is out checking on these brothers, the oldest 10 brothers actually decide to grab him and kill him. Then they decide that that's going too far, and so instead what they do is they grab him, they throw him in a pit, and they sell him to traders who are going through, and who are coming through. He winds up in Egypt as a slave. And he has some problems in the house where he is enslaved, and ends up being thrown in prison in Egypt. Now, while he's in prison, he interprets a dream of a few prisoners, and winds up finding, again, kind of buddying up with, finding favor with a prisoner who is a wine cellar. He interprets the wine cellar's dream in such a way that he believes this dream means that he's going to be released and be connected and get back into his business. And in fact, that wine cellar eventually is released from prison. And a few years after that, that wine cellar gets into the Pharaoh's employ, and happens to hear that the Pharaoh is having a dream that's really bothering him. The wine cellar tells Pharaoh, you know what? This guy I was in prison with interpreted one of my dreams, and he said one day I would actually be here doing this. Here I am. Maybe you want to talk to him. So Pharaoh brings Joseph to his chambers, tells him his dreams, one of which Joseph interprets as being 7 years of bountiful harvest, followed by 7 years of famine. Now, the Pharaoh believes him, decides to put Joseph in charge of the stores for the kingdom. So, come out of prison, and you're now in charge. Essentially, he gave him the keys to the kingdom. Joseph's job is to make sure that they are saving grain and resources during that time of harvest, so that there will be food in anticipation for the time of famine, so that the people can survive. All right, now at this point I want to jump out of Joseph's story for a minute and bring in Star Wars, okay, and Luke Skywalker. Both Joseph and Luke Skywalker, they both come from fairly ordinary circumstances. Joseph tends sheep and goats. Luke lives on the planet Tatooine and is a moisture farmer. He farms water, pretty meager. And they both have these pretty imposing fathers, too. Important fathers, right? Important fathers who both have pretty sketchy pasts. Now, Jacob, while a great man, as I talked about, Joseph's father, Jacob, has a difficult, sketchy past, some cheating, scheming, right? And Luke's father is Anakin Skywalker, a Jedi who becomes Darth Vader. If you don't know that, It's a spoiler, but it's also not my fault if you haven't seen that yet. It's like a long time ago now. Right? Both of those fathers, though, have paths that eventually bring them to prominence. And good or bad, their stories, their faults, and their strengths bring them exactly to where they are. And they are intricately connected beyond themselves. And they play really important roles in the unfolding of these bigger stories of which they're a part. Now, neither Joseph nor Luke, right, are perfect either. As I just said, Joseph is pretty arrogant, and he's a know-it-all at a lot of different times. He certainly likes to tattle on his brothers. I'm an oldest child. I'm not keen on younger siblings to tell. I get that. He knows he's Joseph's favorite. He holds that over his brothers. He uses it. It's not an endearing characteristic. Luke is easily frustrated, impulsive. When they first meet, Yoda, who becomes a mentor, right? Yoda doesn't even want to teach Luke. He says he's too old, he won't pay attention, and he doesn't want to listen. At one point in Empire Strikes Back, Yoda says of Luke, I'm not doing the voice, he says he doesn't want to be where he is. He's always thinking about the future. I can't teach him. A Jedi must be where he is. These heroes, they're not perfect, but these are hero stories. Luke and Joseph follow these patterns. So while watching Star Wars or reading Genesis, we know as readers, as watchers, right, as spectators in these stories, we know that there's a bigger picture happening. But while they're living in it, these characters don't know it. They can't see the bigger picture. They don't know the bigger story. They also don't know the small pieces that they are acting out, living out, that these pieces that they're living are actually playing a role in the bigger story. Each of us is made for a bigger story. A bigger story than we can even imagine. We can't see it. We can't predict what it is. But we're part of something bigger going on. In the Hebrew biblical tradition, the Christian tradition says that God has created a bigger story, and we've all got a role to play. Within Unitarian Universalism, we might think of this as this interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. We can't see the entire web. It encompasses all of existence, after all. But we're a part of it. We affect it, and we're affected by it. Having faith that there is a bigger story going on than the circumstance we can see right now, believing that is often the hardest part. So another part of hero's journey are the tests and the challenges. Now, Luke certainly has them. It starts with fighting sand people at the start of the movie. He has to fight just to be able to meet his first mentor, Ben Kenobi. And then in Empire Strikes Back, when he's on Dagobah working with the Jedi Master Yoda, there are many obstacles he has to overcome, including facing his own fears. And that's often part of these hero journeys as well. Facing and overcoming not just what's on the outside, but also facing and overcoming what's going on the inside. That is typically, too, the biggest challenge to face. And that's not just in entertainment. That's often the case in our own stories as well. So, Joseph and his brothers, they go back and forth whether they're going to kill him, whether they're going to sell him into enslavement. He's enslaved. He's thrown into prison for years, more than once, actually, if you read the whole story. That happens to him many times. He goes back and forth, being favored, being in trouble, being favored and then trouble. And that's part of this too. That's part of this experience as we play our part. So another thing that these guys have in common, they're both dreamers. The classic picture of Luke Skywalker from that original movie, Star Wars, he's got one foot on a rock and he's looking off into the distance. Double suns setting off in the higher horizon as he looks off into the future. He's a good pilot, but he dreams of being a great pilot someday. And that's what Yoda talks about. He's always thinking about something else. He's a big dreamer. And Joseph is obviously a dreamer too. He had those prophetic dreams when he was young that got him into trouble. And then I kind of like the twist that happens in the story where Joseph isn't the one after a while having the prophetic dreams, but God has given him this gift of interpretation so that he can discern the meaning of these prophetic dreams in others. So Joseph's story isn't finished. Because of this gift, Pharaoh puts him in charge, again, really, of the survival of Egypt. Can you imagine this? In the years of bountiful harvest, Joseph has the surplus collected in stores. When the years of famine came then, grain was there to feed the people of Egypt. And there was actually enough that even people from beyond Egypt, they could come to buy grain. In fact, Jacob sent his sons, Joseph's brothers, to buy grain so that they would not starve. They come from another country. This part of the story gets long and involved. All right, so we're going to cut to the chase here. In the end, when the brothers come to buy grain, Joseph reveals his identity to his brothers and actually invites his family to join him in Egypt, and he saves their lives. So I want to lift something up about the dreams Joseph had when he was young. The ones that made his brothers so jealous, right, and angry. Think about these dreams. Truly, another way to interpret these dreams, they are prophesying not that he's going to be great for himself, but the bigger meaning in what's to come is that he's going to be great for the sake of others. His greatness is going to be for the sake of his family and actually a lot more people than that, the people. They just don't know it at the time. Remember, Joseph is Hebrew. He's from Canaan. Egypt is their enemy, and yet Joseph saves Egypt, who was his captor. He saves people who enslaved him, and in doing that, he was actually able to save his own people too, his own family. Bigger picture was not about him being great for himself. Those sheaves of grain didn't bow down to him because he was so great. It's because he had a role to play. That little job of interpreting dreams impacted his world and the bigger world in ways that he could not even imagine. Now, Luke Skywalker, he wasn't to become great, be a great Jedi, just to become powerful for the sake of himself. In fact, at one point, he refuses ultimate power that's offered to him by the Sith. Luke dreamed of being out in the stars, but he couldn't have imagined the part that he would play in saving planets and peoples from the domination of the Empire. And he could not have dreamed that in the end, his actions and his choices would redeem Darth Vader. To whom much given, much is expected. Power and the privileges that we have been given also are not meant for ourselves alone. They are meant to be used for the sake of others. This interdependent web that we're a part of, we can't forget that we're a part of it. We can't separate ourselves from it. Our power, our privileges, our gifts, those are also part of this interdependent web. What we do affects it. It affects us. It is the big picture. We connect to hero stories because we're heroes. Start with dreams, aspirations. A lot of us come from shady pasts, or at least our perceptions of them. We're not perfect, we have flaws, we have challenges. But the bigger story, we're part of it. It affects us. We affect it. Now, living it, we don't usually know how our little part is connected to the bigger story. But I'm telling you, it is. We are. Just don't forget, we're not great for ourselves. We're not just here for ourselves, for our own sakes. We're also here for others. So dreamers, heroes, you, me, we got a job to do. So let's just do it. Amen.
We've got our charge, but we're in this together. As we extinguish the chalice, please join in saying the words on the screen by Reverend Elizabeth Sell Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please rise in body and spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, number 345, "With Joy We Claim the Growing Light."
Benediction comes from Reverend Maureen Killeran. She says, "As we weather winds of change, may we have the wisdom to cherish moments of stillness. As we recollect times of challenge and pain, may we remember also the graceful blessings of our lives. As we look to the future unknowns, may we have the boldness to trust that there is unimagined good yet to come. Blessed be, amen." And before you go,
Before you leave, we're going to support the Immigrant Solidarity Team. So if you're feeling able-bodied, we need to stack the chairs into stacks of 4, except the last 2 rows. Please leave the last 2 rows so folks who want to circle up for conversation can. All the other chairs get stacked 4 high and just move to either side. If you're able to stay to help put out the big round tables, please see Jean Butson or Jim Strickler, who are raising their hands. And if you can come tonight at 6 o'clock for the jazz concert, please do. Blessed be.
Place to do it. So, yeah, I want to make sure that I start